What is up, YouTube? We're here at Lowndes High School doing a scrimmage to get ready for state playoffs on Saturday, 12/12, or isn't that what the day is? 12/12 this weekend? 12/13. 12/13. We're leaving on 12/12. On 12/13, we are playing semifinals for the GHSA state competition. We will be playing against Seckinger, the number 4 team. In preparation, the number 3 team, North Paulding High School, they reached out asking to do a scrimmage. They will be playing against Trinity Christian School on Saturday.
Yep, for semifinals, and then from there we'll be going into finals.
Yeah, so we're hoping that we can make another appearance at finals. Last year we made an appearance there and we took the whole thing home with us. Nice big old trophy. We are hoping to do that again this year. That's an interesting meeting in the lobby. It looks like they got the message.
Yep, that is one of North Paulding's players in the lobby. Display's not up on the stream yet, but should start soon. We're starting to see the other team pull in.
And meanwhile, we have some of our players trying to get their calls situated for their stream on Discord. Nothing like talking to random people while competing in Mario Kart, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's an online game.
Exactly. Oh, look at that. I just got the notification on my watch that our channel's streaming.
Oh, wow,
Very
we're
nice.
live? What?
Good thing. Yeah, it's one of those situations of, where's my phone as I'm calling somebody from it.
Yeah, I've had that happen a few more times than I'd like.
But we will be playing using the same format today that we will be playing in semifinals. That's going to be best 2 out of 3 sets, and it's 6 races per set.
Yep, it's the same as the playoffs format, so it's not anything that we haven't really been running.
And I like this playoff format a lot more than the regular season. During the regular season, we run 4 races per set, and what I don't like about that is there are some maps, and I think a lot of us who play Mario Kart kind of know them as like throwaway maps, such as like Baby Park. Like,
yeah.
we see Baby Park show up, and that one is just such a cluster mess of items that, does it really test out the skill of a team?
I'd really say Baby Park, you kind of have to have a skill for that specific track.
Yeah, but it's tracks like Baby Park where you can't show off the full potential of your team.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much item luck involved there. And maps like Calamari Desert, I just can't stand that one.
It's pretty much a hope you're not too far behind towards the end, and hope you can pull all the way back up.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the 4-race format is, when Baby Park shows up, or in Calamari Desert show up in the same set, then you're only using like 2 of the races to kind of decide which team is the winner instead of all 4 of them.
I mean, if you get top 4, if one team gets top 4 for 2 races in a 4-race set, they pretty much guarantee it, except for the narrow potential for a tie.
And like you said, with Baby Park, you can have your own strategy and stuff, but I think Baby Park's one of those maps where a team could absolutely have a fluke and just make top 4 when that's not something they could do on any other map.
And in those 4-race sets, it can be so hard to claw back a top 4, which, to put that in perspective, a top 4 puts you ahead 19 points.
Yep.
And coming from those 19 points, so a top 3 only nets you, a basic top 3 with a 7-8 nets you a 3-point lead.
Yeah.
So you pretty much have to do much better to climb your way back up from a top 4 loss.
Yeah. So it's just something it's unfortunate that those can be diluted. Let's see. All right, so looks like the other team is ready. All right. Y'all, we need to run this as quickly as possible. Alright, so just remember, we're going to hit that random button in between each race, but they're ready. Who's the host? Is it Toast? Toast, you can go ahead and get it set up. And the screens we will be displaying today, we'll be going back and forth between Toast and PK. And so they'll be trying to do some fun little shortcuts for y'all to pick up on along the way. But as they're getting that loaded, we'll check back before the first race. All right, and so every player has readied up in the lobby, and the first map is being decided by Nintendo right now, and it looks like we're playing Ninja Hideaway. Oh, this is a fun one. I don't know. I think this is a very memeable map. I just always want to sing out "I want to be Ninja" for those
Yeah,
who know
I
that
have
meme.
fond memories of this track. I remember after we had lost against Trinity in fall of 23, we were doing the spring off season, and in practice we were running this track for time trials, and whoever could run to the desk was the champion of the track.
Yeah, we did like weekly championships between our own players. That's off season to try to just build up some skill overall. And there you saw a cool little shortcut by Toast using that mushroom on the top, and then jumping down and going through that barricade.
You can do that cut shroomless, but it is much easier to do it through just through a shroom, since you don't have to worry about getting the collision worked out so you don't get spun out and lose 3 points.
Something we're looking through as we're watching these races is, a lot of schools are really just competing to kind of have as many of their players come to the top end, so they're just having everyone kind of do their best. But there's certain schools where you kind of have to go in knowing a little bit of strategy. And I know that North Paulding is really going to want to focus in on how to take out a front runner. Trinity Christian School, they've got their player Flat Stand. He can just get way far out. So I know that they're going to be looking for answers on how to go against a team where someone just gets so far ahead. And it looks like they're practicing a little bit of that strategy now. Looks like they've got a Shy Guy and a Yoshi sitting in the back. They're holding that 7-8 spot, trying to hopefully pull Lightning or a Blue Shell from what it appears.
Yeah, those 7-8 spots are quite powerful because those are the only 2 spots that can pull the Lightning. And it looked like we just got hit by one of their blues. We still hold the top 2 spots.
And, what was going on back there is our player PK, the Blue Shell was kind of going for him, and he was saying he was willing to take it, knowing the position of his other teammates. I always feel like this is a hard map to bag on.
Yeah, because I would say there's really only one big cut, and then the main spot I'd say where you can regain ground is just that sort of ending curve.
Is that where the bullet extension is?
I believe so, because you can kind of choke everyone into that small funnel.
Well, the hard part with that bullet
through
extension, though, is if you mistime it a little bit, it could throw you out of the bullet right before a really sharp turn, making it hard to get your alignment.
Yeah. I've had gotten just thrown out by a bullet on a turn more times than I'd like, and it is not fun.
And so we're starting off with a pretty good point advantage here. Like we were saying earlier, if you were to take first, second, third, fourth, that gives your team 29 points. And if you take 5, 6, 7, 8, that gives your team 10 points. And so there's really 19 points that you're playing around with for each team as to who gets what.
Yeah. So.
And Dragon Driftway, I love just drifting on this map. This is especially in this beginning portion. I just find nailing these turns and getting your lines right is so satisfying. But the danger is everyone is bottlenecked right here at the beginning going into this dragon's mouth. And everyone's trying to hit these same lines. You even see it right there. Just players bumping into each other. We're going to switch to PK for a little bit, see what he's up to.
He narrowly missed
the
the shortcut. That one can be a hard one to hit because it's such a tight setup, and you have to make sure you get all the little features right.
It's definitely one of those ones that's easier to hit with a mushroom, but I think it's one of the more doable ones without a shortcut. Yeah. But again, talking about just how bottlenecked this track is in a time trial you can hit some of those shortcuts consistently, but when you're trying to dodge people and go around them, it throws your lines off a good bit.
Yeah, if you in that bottleneck section, if someone slings a green through it, they can easily hit someone just from all the people getting funneled into that small cavity.
And we've got some of our teams doing some good communication here, calling out red shell items that the opponents have. Definitely one of those strategies that we want to work on for sure.
So our player in first just got hit by a blue shell from North Paulding players. Luckily, we still hold some good spots. Both our player and North Paulding.
Well, I'm not sure if they actually missed it. It looks like,
yeah.
From our screen, it looks like North Paulding missed off the PK screen, but really, looking off the toe screen, the game just kind of missed time. And that's kind of one of those weird things about watching Mario Kart is, red shell dodge at the end. Cool. So we just took first.
Yeah, we dropped some spots, so it's not a amazing setup since 2-3-4 does gain.
However, we did take first, which means they didn't gain as much as they could have gained.
So we were originally up by 13, now we're up by 12, so we only
lost.
Yeah,
it's
only 1 point.
Yeah, if you can make a commanding lead in the first race, and then that's what you're giving up each time, that still gives you a recipe for success in the end.
Yeah, and if theoretically you start the first race with a 6-point lead and then only lose 1 point,
that puts it tied. You still win in the end because then you'll be 1 point ahead. Yeah.
So just maintaining that first place spot is incredibly important. And now we're seeing Rock Mountain, which it has.
It has a massive cut at the end.
Yeah, if you can bag this one properly, you can throw yourself very far ahead.
See, this is I think probably more of a shrimmer map in general. You know, if you can get 4 mushrooms, you can almost cut out like half of the last section of this map.
Yeah, the issue can be you're somewhat gambling because if you snag a bullet bill, bullet bills will always try to take the road.
Yeah.
If you
almost need to hop into the grass a little bit with it.
Yeah, but even so, it'll drag you all the way back onto the road, which is a much longer route.
And so here we see our players kind of doing a little bit of a different strategy. PK decided he wanted to run in the back, and so we'll see if he implements any of these shortcuts. We've got Toast in 6, he's got a lot of mushrooms. Not really a lot of spots to use them in the first half of the map, but you know, he'll either use those to kind of overtake somebody, or he's going to save those until the last half of this lap. Right. We also have PK in 8th place with the golden mushroom.
That is an incredibly good pull.
That's a great item.
In terms of trying to get ahead. Right now, since we're holding 7-8, we are preventing them from pulling shots.
That's true. And so what's good is with our player ducking out first, is he can know reliably that a blue shell and a shock are not going to come for him as long as we have a player in those spots. And here we see Toast is taking the shortcut at the end.
We have some minor collision there.
Minor collision on our end. Something we need to work on calling out for teammates. But
that can happen. That can happen sometimes if you have 2 people crossing over like that.
Yeah. And this track is really easy for someone to kind of surprise come out of nowhere.
Yeah, because really when you're off-road, there's not really a road to follow, so you can't reliably call that out.
There's a lot of opportunities to get hit by this green shell.
Yeah, it looks like the stream might have gone out for a second there. So, I don't know if we lost any data, but right there. Looks like we lost a few more points.
Yeah, that's one of the things with Mario Kart is getting that momentum is something that can do a lot for your team. Once you start kind of clawing back those points, I always hate having to defend a narrow lead because a top 4 out of nowhere can really change things.
Yeah, even a top 3 can gain a ton of points.
Let's see, we're halfway through right now.
Yep.
Up at the half by 7 points. Hey, we do have the headsets too. We are going into a tour track, the Sydney Sprint. This is probably my more preferred of the tour tracks.
It has a nice variation of cuts and routes to take that can really set you ahead compared to.
Yeah, you're kind of doing
players.
something pretty different on every lap. Like, I wouldn't say there's a great opportunity to use mushrooms on the first lap, but there are definitely some times in the second lap to use mushrooms, and a few opportunities in the third.
Yeah.
So, we didn't see it on stream, but PK had a red shell, and unfortunately was driving right next to the enemy, and when that happens, the shell just goes out in front and then skips him over altogether.
Yeah, which is unfortunate when you lose an item like that, but still managed to hit the opponent player, so we're remaining ahead.
It looks like we've got some better team communication going on from what we can hear. And they're doing this in a room where we're broadcasting at the same time, so there's a little bit more chatter. And hopefully that's going to give them a little bit of preparation for state as well, because there's going to be noise.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I remember Brookwood.
Oh yeah, 2 years ago when we were playing in person, and we were in this giant gymnasium. It was basketball court, and you know, Brookwood, they had a spirit section. It was incredible. They had all these kids out there supporting their teammates, and they were loud. And it was something we weren't really expecting. It was the first time we played in person, and so I think there was a little bit of a shock there from us of having to have all that extra stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, and even last year, they had their players constantly chanting and cheering on their team, and I remember we had already gotten enough points to guarantee the set, and they were chanting top 4, even though that wouldn't have changed it.
Yeah, that's true. Going into this last turn.
Oh, that's our blue shell.
That's a friendly blue shell. You know, I'm convinced that Mario Kart sees your gamer tag and uses that to decide what kind of items you're getting. Because last year, when Coach Orange, who's broadcasting with us, when he was on the team, none of our players could consistently pull up a blue shell or a shock, even if we were sitting in 8th place. And then this year we bring on Munch, and she just pulls blue shell after blue shell. It's been incredible.
Yeah.
So that puts us back at a 14-point lead going into race 5. So we are 2/3 the way through.
Yeah, if at this race 5, if we can gain 6 points, that would finish off the set.
Yeah, so if we can get 16 points right here.
Or 6 points.
6 points? Nah, because then we'll have to... Because what? 117 is the halfway, is the tiebreaker number. So we kind of want to get at... We want to be at 98 points after this race. If we can get to 98 after this race, then that guarantees set win for us.
Yeah, pretty much we just got to be more than 20 points up. So Mute City, this is when I practiced.
You go really fast on this one.
I've practiced this one immensely. There's this one shroomless cut that I've been trying to be able to hit consistently in a real match, but before
I gave up on that shortcut.
Yeah, before the end of nationals, I just could not get consistent enough with it to pull it off during real games.
Yeah, we'll try to point that cut out towards the end, kind of give you a visual representation where it is. We might see someone take it with a mushroom. It's really easy to take with a mushroom.
Oh yeah.
There's like an invisible polygon you can hit with a drift where you can do this without a mushroom. And
Yeah.
so looking off the PK screen, it's right here on the right. You just pass it. It's really hard to see. If you don't know it's there, you'll never know. This is one of those ones that's really hidden. You kind of have to watch some tutorial videos.
Yeah, it's really about just getting that. If you're taking a shroomless, it's really about getting that distance and line up correct.
Oh, and you got to get so far out ahead of the other team that they're not going to bump you. This one, that is a hairline kind of shortcut you got to hit. If you're just a hair off, then you're not going to hit it at all.
Yeah, we're calling Ribbon Road. I remember that one is a bit of a horror story for us.
Yep. I always start getting a little nervous when Ribbon Road comes up. Alright, we're going to switch over to Toast and see what's going on. Not really a lot going on in front of PK. You can see kind of some of the team aspects of what's happening with Toast. We're hearing a lot of communication in the room between Ducking and Toast and PK. We're all communicating these top 4 spot on each other. Meanwhile, Munchkin's kind of holding the back line, preventing them from having better odds at pulling shot.
Yeah, really, in these team formats, shot can be incredibly destructive because it only hits the opposing team.
So we have Toast going back. He's probably going to use these mushrooms to his advantage to take a shortcut. We'll probably see a few of the North Paulding players. Yep, there it is. We got 135 right there, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is a point game.
1-3-5-7 is a point game.
That's about 3 points or so.
Let's see, we've got some, who we got in the chat? Oh, classic 6-7 in the chat. Very nice.
So
right, so
we're sitting
at 107. So, yeah, if we get bottom 4 right here, it ties it.
Yeah, because the least amount of points you can gain is 10. So if you do the math, 10 points plus 29 points.
So this is one of those times you really don't want to say it's over because it's not.
Yeah.
And I've seen some other schools on their live streams where players are like, all right, it's over. And then I'm watching their race. I'm like, technically it could end in a tie still. Like, don't say it's over until it's over.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot in like Smash Bros, for example.
Oh,
because there's the kill confirm animation, but it might not necessarily confirm.
Correct.
So I think Mario Kart ties can be a little similar.
Yep.
Especially a track like this can be somewhat tricky.
The bottleneck at the beginning of this one is just so daunting. You're driving around that canyon, and everyone's just bumping into each other. And I think one of the hard parts about the beginning of this, where it bottlenecks differently like Dragon this way, is when you go up on those curves, your camera gets really wonky. And sometimes I feel like I overcorrect a little bit, and so then that will send me into the off-rail, and that's just something you really don't want to do right there.
Yeah.
Ending lap 1, looks like we've got a 1-2-3. We've got Munch in the back, holding her ground. Looks like she just took a hit back there, but that's okay. That saves a hit from one of our players in 1-2-3.
Yeah, really, there's a lot more to this game than just go fast wins. You really have to
go fast
work on
win.
that.
I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot you have to think about in terms of communication.
Yeah, if you're doing a single player format, then yeah, you're kind of out there for yourself. But in a team format, sometimes you're okay taking a hit and being sent back to 8th place if that means you took a hit for your teammate and they get to maintain their first place spot. Alright, we've got PK taking second. We've got first with ducking as well, and we've got Toast who's going to be making some moves. Hit one of them with a green, and Munch just called out from the back that she has a blue shell, friendly blue shell, going for North Paulding.
Oh, barely missed that.
And wow, and right there you see off of Toast's screen that their first place player really wasn't that far ahead of them at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible how tight these games can actually be.
We see Toast had a star stolen from him, and we see those coming up in his rearview mirror. So it looks like he is going to be sent back, but it looks like we maintain 1-2, which is going to guarantee the first place itself guarantees the win.
Yeah, really even just getting fourth would have guaranteed it.
Yeah, and here you see we are at 1-2-7-8, and if you take first and second every single race, there's really nothing another team can do against you.
Yeah.
And that will do it. We are ending set 1, 128 to 106. Not a bad margin. PK said he was feeling a little goofy there on that mountain.
Yeah, Rock Mountain.
Rock Mountain, and I don't know why he was intentionally running into his teammates with stars, but I don't know, sometimes you're feeling goofy. He said that's his defining quality, is feeling goofy. I mean, I was gonna say, is that player's name Tweak? Oh wow, alright. And they said they are ready when we are, So Toast, we can get it started. So we saw them run that bagging strategy at the beginning, and we didn't really see them go for that ever since. But North Paulding is kind of one of those schools that I've watched them play against other schools, and it seems that that's one of those tricks that they'll start going towards in the second set if they didn't like the results of set one. You know, sometimes you win set one, but you still may not like the results. And we've seen them kind of pull out that bagging track, so we'll see if that's something they emphasize here as we go into the second set.
The tricky thing about bagging in these team formats is that when you're intentionally bagging, you're putting your players in the back. So that means less players that can actually push ahead. So our next track is Merry Mountain. We got this last week, I believe?
This is just in time for the holidays.
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird that Nintendo added a specific Christmas-themed map that could just show up at random throughout the year. I almost would have rather they did like a holiday map, and then kind of depending on what time of year you were in, like the decor would change. But I know that's a lot for them to kind of maintain on their
I mean, it would be cool. Something similar to the Animal Crossing map where it has...
Or it just pulls a random holiday. That would be neat. You know, you're just in Christmas time, and then all of a sudden you're pulling out like Halloween. That'd be fun.
But I mean, you can have Christmas in July with this.
That's true. So there is a cut up here on the right where you can use the mushrooms to take this line. It does mean you miss out on your item box, but Toast was ready with some defensive items.
It can, unfortunately, leave you somewhat defenseless after taking that cut, so you got to be very sure that you want to take that cut, because it could push you further back, and with less items than you would otherwise have.
Now something you see Toast doing really good right here. He sees his teammates in front of him, and he's kind of in the situation where the game gave him an item that's automatically trailed, and is just circling him, and he's really trying not to hit his teammate, and so he's watching the line of what his teammate's doing, and he's trying to avoid hitting him.
Yeah, it can be very scary when you're pulling up at a box, and someone beside you pulls triples, because you might not necessarily be able to predict it, but they can just suddenly hit you without you really realizing because they pulled those triples.
Yeah. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, and going into this last lap, we've got Munch in the back, who's playing as her me. It's been one of the characters she's been trying lately. I think she does it for a little bit of a speed, a little different from the dry zones.
Yeah, really each character has their different stats, so if you can really play along to that note, then it can gain you an advantage overall.
And what you'll see is online, you'll see a lot of teams running, or a lot of singles teams running like the standard Yoshi Teddy Buggy combo, or something along those lines. But in a team format, I don't know if that's always beneficial, because if your whole team's running the same stat setup, then there's nowhere for like certain individuals to play certain roles as well, if that makes sense.
And really the point of Yoshi Teddy Buggy is that it's a very good all-around combo to use. So it can work on most roles, and it can work on the most common roles and on the most common tracks.
Yeah, and something that PK has mentioned before in team strategy discussions is that he sometimes just tries different card combinations to try to be a little different than the other players, because sometimes the map that's rolled might need more of a top speed in water, and then if everyone's running Yoshi Teddy Buggy and you're running something else, you might have the competitive advantage by running that different card combination.
Yeah, because there's even just outside of the basic stat sheet, there's a lot of hidden stats that can affect things.
Oh yeah, there's like 6 stats that the game shows you, like top speed, acceleration, handling, stuff like that. But there's, I don't know, maybe like 12 or plus. I don't know. And each road has their own speed as well. You have road speed, you have off-road speed, you have water speed, you have air speed. Those are all things that you've got to consider when you're choosing your cart combination. And if you just don't want to consider it, then choose Yoshi Teddy Buggy, because on average, it does all those things slightly above average.
Yeah.
At least see a Berlin byway show up. This is one that showed up in one of our previous streams. This is also one of my preferred tour tracks as well. I don't like Bangkok or Singapore. Singapore feels like too much, but I do like the Berlin byway.
I'm a bit of a Sydney Vancouver guy myself.
Yeah, Sydney's been good. New York Minute is great up until the last item box.
Yeah, I remember in Nationals, I was playing more of that bruiser role, and right at the end, they all just piled on me with items, and I got shot straight to the back.
Alright, so far we see Toast in second, Iron down first, and once again we see why these tour tracks are kind of a pain in the butt for some teams, is the cars driving on the track adds a whole nother element to the game.
Yeah, tracks like Moonview and Toast Turnpike are kind of similar in that vein.
Yeah, when you have the track that has moving pieces to it, makes it so you really have to know the track layout and anticipate some of those obstacles coming right at you.
Yeah, and I'd say tracks like Berlin are just a bit more windy than what you normally get out of these tracks with
and
other cars.
Communication that from ducking that he's got triple reds to help protect Toast up. Double triple reds? No, double reds. Double reds. That's still really good. We're going to switch to PK and watch him as he tries to claw his way back from the back. So he's sitting in seventh. Really going for an item here.
He just intercepted that fireball.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, and they had shock available.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but we still took first with Toast, which is going to be good. So we started 13 points off. We're going to lose a few points here, but not a ton because of that first place.
Yeah, you can see there how dangerous getting hit by shock is, because we were likely to pull a point gain there. But
yeah. Oh, we almost got out really far with that one. But because of that shock, that really sent 3 of our players to the back. Toast was kind of so far gone at that point that there wasn't going to be a lot to really stop him.
Yeah, luckily our lead early on managed to only cut our lead in by half.
Yeah.
So we
That's fine. That's race 2. We're just...
And that's where I'd say the 4 race setups can really destroy you. Because if they, let's say, pulled shock the next 2 races.
Oh yeah, I agree. You know, if shock gets pulled twice in a 4 race set, that can almost decide the winner itself. And I think when you go to the 6 race format, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I think you're less likely to pull shock, which I think makes it so that, you know, a team's skill really shows through. Now, not to say that using the shock is not skill or anything. You got to know when to use the shock, and North Paulding used the shock at the perfect time. Just kind of watching the delay right now. All of our players had already gone through the last item box, and that's what makes Lightning brutal, is it takes your item away from you. And so, you know, really the ideal strategy is pull Lightning and then wait till all of the opponents have gone through the last item box. Use it, and then your team is stocked up with items going into that last 100-meter sprint, and the other team just can't do anything about it because they lost all their items.
Yeah, so it's... Luckily, we managed to pull away with that lead and maintain that burst, but it can be so damaging if the game is in your favor already.
So it looks like they've got a player kind of sitting back. They've got a light blue Yoshi that's sitting back there. You see PK is kind of contesting them for that spot. PK finds it very fun to try to be anti-bagging.
Yeah. Right now, we're preventing them from actually pulling shock.
Yep, so we have 7 and 8 right now. PK is going to be going up a little bit, and he's going to be taking a few players out as he crawls his way up to the front. Oh, and he tried to, that would have been really cool to do. Was that a friendly blue? Oh, that was a friendly blue. So while PK was making his climb, Munch was back there pulling a blue shell against the other team. But now we get into this dangerous spot where their Shy Guy is sitting in 8th place, which means they have a player that is eligible to pull shock. But again, we see Toast is gone right now.
Yeah, if we can scrape away enough of a lead to where we maintain top 2,
That friendly blue?
That was another friendly blue.
Now, okay, so that we have Ducking yelling out just great. He's super excited right now. He pulled a blue shell in 4th place, and we maintained first. You know, that's one of the interesting things about the code of this game. You can have first place, but that doesn't mean that your team won't pull bad items, because it all depends on how far away you are from first place and your placement. Yeah. So even though first place was also on our team, because our 4th place Ducking was so far back in comparison to him, that he was able to pull that good item.
Yeah, and right there, you could see because of just how it turns out, we actually gained a good lead there, and we're up to that 19-point lead.
Yep. We got a double blue shell on that one, and I know I'm good friends with the coach over at North Paulding, and I know the post-race debriefing we're going to have, and I know that map's going to come up there.
Yeah.
I do like that shortcut at the beginning of that map as well, where you get to kind of go through that staircase and get the double item.
Yeah, it can really help you, for example, effectively dodge a shock.
Yep, and meanwhile, the assistant to the head esports coach is going around passing out Japanese Pokemon cards that someone had left in the computer lab. So, just for luck.
So next we have Vancouver, which
oh my gosh, I can't stand this.
I love this track. It is.
I'm starting to pick up a pattern. If I like it, you don't like it. If you like it, I don't like it.
Something like that.
Might show our skill difference. I'm better. Just kidding. Coach Orange is dead better.
We'll see that when you hit 30K.
I do not plan on hitting 30K anytime soon. How am I supposed to hit 30K when Pokemon released new DLC last night? Yeah, so we got Coach Orange, who is at 30,000 something, right?
Yep.
And I'm sitting around 13,000, and Coach Falcon Dog is sitting at a whopping 2,000. But he's good at other games. He's kind of our expert in the Rocket League.
Yeah.
He's not bad at this game. He just doesn't play.
I mean, I think that's every game.
So again, we hear our, in the background, PKs calling out items with Ducking. We also have headsets on, and so they don't have to necessarily yell to each other. That was something we kind of came up with as a solution to the communication error we were coming up with that first year we played in person.
Yeah.
We saw some of the other teams so loud, cheering on, spectating the background, that we figured we needed to come up with a solution. So we have an intercom set headsets that our players wear so they can communicate with each other.
Yeah, so right here you can kind of see a bit of a drop.
So like we're kind of in bottom places going into this last lap, but that means we've got the better items. We see Ducking doing the shortcut with some triple mushes. Probably could have called our items a little bit better right there. PK's about to take this red shell hit for Munch. Which is fine, it's gonna let her get ahead a little bit.
Okay, so we're pulling up on the last turn. It is not great for us.
Yep.
So right there, you can see the damage that a top 4 can do.
Yep. We just wanted to model that for everybody on the stream.
Our 19-point lead just evaporated.
Ooh!
Straight to a tie. Luckily, we still have 2 races.
2 races, yep. But, you know... Yep, but once again, if this were a regular season match, that was it. That, you know, 78-78, we'd be going into a tiebreaker now.
Yeah, which tiebreakers are interesting because if basically you just do one more race and whoever comes out on top is the team that actually wins. So
I was too busy flapping my jaws during that race to really see what was going on there. But I think that second lap, there were some kind of shortcut shenanigans that kind of messed us up.
yeah.
There is a pretty big shortcut in that second one, and sometimes the item boxes for that previous one are just kind of hard to hit because they're moving around. And again, we see another tour track. Nintendo, you know, they may say that everything has the same rate, but I do not believe it.
It really can feel not random sometimes. I mean, I don't think we've seen too many original roster tracks.
I'm gonna like rewinding the stream just to see what's showing up in this set. We started with Mary Mount, DLC. We went to Tour by Berlin. Then we went to that Daisy map, Daisy Plaza. That's DLC as well. We haven't had a non-DLC track in this set.
Yeah, which is really, theoretically, it should be a 50-50.
Yep,
If
there
it's
are
a
48 in the
base
original,
odds.
there's 48 in the DLC.
Maybe I'll ask the stats teacher to run some stats test on these.
They are independent events, so you know, theoretically, you could see the same map show up 2 times in a row. Now that's a 1 in 96, 98 chance of happening, but it could still happen.
Yeah, theoretically, there's nothing stopping the same track we're appearing all the 6 times. Although, it would be such a...
that'd be to the 6th power.
Yeah, it would be such an incredibly low statistical probability that it's not likely to happen, but it could.
I think Nintendo boasts that there's 98.
I think there's only 96.
96?
Because
Okay.
there's 48.
Okay,
per
so,
roster.
yeah, that's 1/96 to the 6th power equal all the same map every single time. Alright, we got some teammates talking strategy here. Hopefully trying to get ahead. This last lap is a reverse of the previous 2 laps.
If we can just stay ahead here, we should be able to take something good.
And it is looking like Lowndes is going to have to get really good, really fast right here at the end.
Ooh, they pulled the boomerang.
And we see some unfortunate item luck there at the end.
So this is going to be incredibly hard to claw back from.
They're basically at the top 4 this last race. Looks like we're gonna see PK kind of go back to one of his previous builds. Been trying some different stuff out this set. He just hasn't been feeling it with some of the kart combos he's been running.
Yeah, if we could end this last race with a top 4, that would win it for us. But
I know. And look at this. We just went an entire 6-race set, all DLC.
yeah, so
We've got our stats teacher back here running the odds for us. Was it 1/2 to the 6th power? Right?
yeah.
So that's there's a 1 in 64 chance. Yeah. But if we were just going DLC, non-DLC, you know, there's a 50% chance you hit original versus DLC. So that's 1/2 to the 6th power. So what, 1/64? Yeah. Yeah. And so still 1/64, that is really low odds that should happen. And I feel like it happens way too consistently for it to be a convenience.
Yeah.
Those at home that don't want to do the math, that's a 1.5% chance. Now this could be it. This could be potentially good news for us with this map. We've done some good work here before. There's a lot of shortcuts. Looks like their team also knows the shortcuts pretty well. So, yeah, that poses a little bit of danger for us.
Really, the dangerous part of this track when front running is that cannon. Since if the other team is holding bottom spots, they have a higher chance of pulling shock.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They just had 2 of their players break right there at the end. Now granted, that is a strategy that they're going to have to master if they're going to compete against Trinity Christian.
Yeah, since Trinity's top player is, he to get so far out ahead. So you have to really play to that.
Yeah, shout out to Flat Stan. I know he's watching out there. So up here we see PK holding second down, but I mean, this is what's going to happen. I'm just going to go ahead and call it. North Paulding is going to pull a shock here. I'm convinced they're going to pull a shock, and they're going to sit there at the... Oh, they pulled a blue shell.
Yeah, so that makes
it fine. We're so far ahead.
Us.
They do have their shy guy coming up here.
The tough thing is North Paulding currently has just general advantage, so they can even just do...
Yeah, I don't even know if they need to try the bagging for this one. I feel like that's almost a little bit too much of a risk. Because basically they just can't come bottom 4.
Yeah.
You know, if they... Bottom 4, they lose the set, and then, you know, if they give up like 1 point, then it just goes to the tie.
Yeah, so
we've got 1, 2, we just backed a red.
And we take
Yep,
it.
I don't think we did it. But it was close. It was close.
What did we get? What? Nope. Wait. Oh, that's a tie. Yeah.
It goes in the tie? Whoa.
So that's...
Woo.
That is the
We're going into
crazy
tiebreaker.
thing. So we're going into a race 7.
So, I mean, that's a lucky little treat for everybody watching on the stream. This doesn't happen often in Mario Kart at all. So, the procedure in a tie is that you set it up for the 4 races, but you really just run the first race. And when you run one race, there is no chance for a tiebreaker because the closest you can get is one team with 20 and one team with 19.
Yeah,
So this is where we really see first and second matter here. Even second, third, fourth, fifth is winning.
Yeah, so this is it's going to be incredibly...
I think we're ready to start it, Toast, if you want to start queuing it up.
Pretty much here, all we need to do is gain a single point on the other team. So that's what makes tiebreakers so tense.
Yep, you're good to start it, Toast. Alright. Meanwhile, we have our players taunting each other to get better. Maybe they'll take that motivation and go home and not touch grass for the next few days. Nope. They won't be able to do another. They don't have time for another set, so don't throw it. Yeah. Baby park, baby park, baby. This is like worst case scenario for me. Oh. So this is one of PK's top tracks. Actually, the first time I ever saw PK do a race in Mario Kart was at freshman orientation, and I had this track pulled up. And you know, as kids were walking by, you know, seeing what clubs they wanted to do, you know, I just offered for students to show me what they could do in Mario Kart, and I just remember being absolutely amazed with how clean PK's line was. And I think all of our players, they can have some really good lines on this.
Yeah, it's an incredibly fun track to drive.
Oh, absolutely.
It does have bagging strengths, which you have to be careful when you're running, because there is just such a sheer amount of off-road to deal with.
And we see Flat Stan in the chat there. That's awesome.
Okay, it looks like the other team sent red towards us.
I think this is almost too dangerous for both teams to have people having 2 players sit in the back.
Yeah, because if you let 2 players get out too far ahead, it's over.
It's over, yeah, absolutely. First and second takes home a tiebreaker every day.
In a normal 6-race set, you
6-7? 6-7?
you generally you might want to play the more risky play with bagging.
Yeah.
Since over the span of things, he'll get lucky and then
The timing is everything. I mean, you know, maybe start off bagging, but we're hitting the point in the race where you gotta start making some moves.
Okay, so they're currently holding first. We went for the snipe, didn't quite hit it, and we hit them with the red.
Alright, so we got 1-2, so our players gonna have to watch each other and be super in sync right here.
getting.
We are preventing them from getting shocked right now by having 7 and 8.
Yeah, what could be dangerous is if they pull a
If they
double
get
or
like
triple
triple
red
red
set.
or something.
Oh,
There's a
there's
banana right
stray
there.
banana.
Yep. It's unfortunate. Oh, we're gonna have to start making some moves. Yep. So now we're gonna have to call out our items really well right here.
Okay, so we hit one of them with a red.
Really,
We can all pull shrooms here. And that is a.
Woo! What a clutch
That
up
is
at
us.
the end. Wow. That is that last turn, if you can get some mushrooms, it is incredible. And like that, tiebreaker goes to Lowndes. And
So
meanwhile, the assistant to the head esports coach is in the background playing with his little meme soundboard, doing the air horns. Wow. North Paulding, a team that you just always have to see as a contender. They have been in it for the past few seasons. They're once again proving why they keep showing up to these in-person playoffs.
yeah, that was such a tight match.
So who knows? That might give our players, that might give their players some motivation to get in there.
Yeah, we really need to just. I always say just practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. You know, and the thing is, I know that, you know, ducking in the background hears us saying to practice, 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 and he's gonna go home, and I'm gonna get a notification from the Nintendo app saying that he's on Smash Brothers.
Yes, you will.
Or on Animal Crossing. No, Munch is gonna be on Animal Crossing.
I opened it because I wanted to see like what something was. I hadn't noticed that.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We will be streaming. Well, unfortunately, we won't be streaming it on Saturday, but come check out all the different teams playing Smash, League of Legends, Mario Kart. We'll be playing for both Smash and Mario Kart. Mario Kart will be 9 a.m. If you go to the GHSA.net website /esports, you'll see a page that has the agenda for the day, and they have links through the NFHS network broadcasting. But Lowndes is scheduled to play second during Mario Kart at 9 a.m. and Smash Brothers Lowndes is playing Peachtree Ridge High School at 3 p.m. If our teams win those, they will advance to the finals. So if Mario Kart advances, we'll be playing at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And then if Smash wins, they will be playing at 5:30 p.m. And
so-
all those links are on the GHSA website, so go check those out.